Hello and welcome to Potpourri. I'm your host, Shatondra Caldwell, and today we have Miss Ty Johnston with us today, the TV and film producer and the founder of Atlanta Pitch Summit. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. So let's get right into it. The first question I want to ask you is, let's talk about the Atlanta Pitch Summit.
The Atlanta Pitch Summit is for everybody.
Right.
This is for everybody from the creative community, those from television to animation to film to screenwriting. I mean, if you're a producer, director, aspiring, or anybody that has a great story to tell. This is for you. This weekend of October 31st, November 1st and 2nd is when the marketplace happens and everybody can come out and share it.
Now let's talk about, how was this founded? Since you are the founder, how was this founded? When did you just say, I want to do the Atlanta Pitch Summit?
Well, you know, I had a lot of different people asking me, as a television and film producer, they'll come and they'll say, hey Ty, I have this great idea. And then I had those from the LA and the New York arena, those that are executives that will say, hey Ty, well, this is what we need. This is what the network is mandating. This is, you know, something that would be a great sell, but this is what we really want. And so for me, I just said, you guys aren't going to wear me out, right? I want to just bring all the resources together. We need this in the Southeast. I was going out to LA and I was doing workshops for different festivals and summits out there. And I said, we need that here. So it was just a good shift to bring it back here to the Southeast. Why not Atlanta?
Right, and that was actually going to be my next question. Why not Atlanta? Atlanta it's out there, and there's a lot of schools, especially here at Clark Atlanta University. So it's especially for students, correct?
Oh, students particularly, I mean, are the driving force of this. You know, for one, I'm definitely a student advocate. You know, I taught 4.5 years as a professor in television and film production, so my heart really goes out to you guys, you know. And it's hard out there, and I think, you know, we was just kind of discussing that, you know, we have to have great mentorship, you know, we have to be able to get great feedback, and that's something that the Atlanta Pitch Summit definitely provides. You know, throughout the past 2 years that the summit has been existing, we have reached over expectations. We have had any and everybody from Tracy Edmonds to attend, the legendary filmmaker Robert Townsend, James DuBose, Andy Velkoff, he's the one who pretty much, you know, aligned the Cartoon Network, you know, so a lot of great influential people that have come out and they've supported the event. And why not Atlanta? Why not students come? Get great feedback, put your story out there. Don't keep it on your hard drive. That doesn't work. It's for nobody to see on your hard drive, right?
So what advice would you give students who want to do the Atlanta Pitch Summit?
Well, you know, the Pitch Summit is definitely, you know, we have an educational portion that goes along with it. So our very first real day, which will be November 1st, that is nothing but panels and workshops. So students, they come out and they learn from the pros. They have an opportunity to sit there and digest any and everything that they get in class, for one, because I know that, you know, professors work hard, and then they have an opportunity to, you know, listen to everything that an executive is saying, and that might just be something that they really needed to hear to get across that hump to put their project in the next production phase. The very next day, which will be November 2nd for us, is the pitching. So everything that you learned on day one, you get a chance to come back and do it and present it on day 2. So the pitch session is a lot like speed dating. You get in line, you find out what network you're getting ready to pitch to, then you have a little bit less than 5 minutes to sit at the pitch table with that executive. So, you know, this year we have plenty of people coming. We have Aspire TV, we have BET again, we have UP Entertainment, and these are right here in Atlanta. So providing access, you know, and for students and all of those other persons from the creative community being able to get heard is something that I just want to keep providing.
Now with pitching, what what do students need to do to have the correct pitch? Do they need to come in confidently? Do they need to know their stuff? What do they need to do to pitch?
Well, for one thing, all students, you guys would definitely need to be able to have a log line that's put together, okay? A log line is a 1 to 2 sentences of your premise, or, you know, something that is defining the story. Then if you can do a 1 page, you know, you might hear different terms of it being 1 page, 1 sheet, synopsis, have that together. It could be for a television show, sitcom idea, original teleplay, or it can also be for a screenplay, or it could be a reality show, because we know that reality has taken over.
Definitely.
Game show as well. I mean, so whatever idea that you have, you know, we have great providers that are going to be looking for, I mean, some awesome content, you know, and I know that students, you guys work hard, you know, so you're not just sitting down and you know, waiting for your career to happen. I mean, you could be living it right now.
So with the pitches, have you heard some very strange pitches, some fun, exciting pitches? Have they all been great, or?
Well, I don't actually sit in the pitch session. I let all the executives do that, those that are looking for content. Now, I get pitches that come to me through my company throughout the entire year. So yeah, I've heard some stuff that is just, it doesn't really move me too well. But what makes a pitch really exciting is something that we just have not yet heard, or it could be a twist. It could be 2 or 3 different shows kind of combined together. And what really makes a great show is character. So especially for reality, we know now that, you know, again, reality TV has taken over, and, you know, for quite some time now, we've probably been on over a decade of that, but it just keeps getting stronger and stronger. So a lot of character development, you know, showing personality. This is what really makes a great story. Just being able to tell who you are. You know, everybody lives day by day, and they experience all these, you know, different challenges or adversities, and it doesn't have to be that. It could be, you know, how you actually walked across the line that day. How did you do it different today from you did yesterday? So something very simple to something that could be so much or different, you know, could make or break a story.
Right. So also, we were talking about the international internship.
Yes.
That's a part of the Atlanta Pitch Summit. Can you talk a little bit about that?
This is awesome. Actually, I'm really excited about this, and my hat goes off to Crystal Carter, the young lady who actually decided to put the program together. And she is a Clark graduate. And one thing is that I actually was recruited for to supervise, produce the only broadcast television show, reality show of the country of Bahamas. And so that took place in April, and I was there for 3 months. Well, the company that I actually worked for, we decided to do an internship recruitment. And we said, what better could we do other than make it affiliated with the Atlanta Pitch Summit, since, you know, students are actually wanting to come and pitch, but looking for special skills of students to go and being able to sit and be a part of this great company, which is the Movi Group. And this company owns like over $1.3 million worth of gear. I mean, when we show up, we're show ready, you know, in a 50-foot truck. You know, we do everything from live broadcasting to all the PM, the Prime Minister campaigns, Justin Bieber concert, Katy Perry, you know, and this broadcast reality show. And it's just, it's amazing. So we are providing student transportation while they're there for their internship, and, you know, the duration of the internship, you know, that could vary. We're also providing housing for them. So the only thing they need to do is just buy a plane ticket.
Wow.
Yeah.
Definitely, that's
and have
exciting.
some skills, have some editing skills, have some director skills, resume, you know, just you got to be active. And this is your time now to really show up and show out and say, hey, listen, I want to do the takeover for me. I want to be able to produce, you know, more content. I want to be able to, you know, increase my opportunities. So definitely when we come back to our next segment, we want to talk about students, especially graduating seniors, and how they can increase and make their own brand. Absolutely.
So stay tuned.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Have you or your family thought about starting an evacuation plan? Would you rather be prepared than to not be prepared at all? By joining FEMA's National Preparedness Month, you'll learn the simple steps to prepare for emergencies. From storing your most valuable supplies in waterproof containers to having an alternative getaway route.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
Welcome back, and we're still here with Ms. Ty Johnston, and we want to go ahead and let's talk about students and creating their own brand and what they need to do after they graduate, because you are a TV and film producer.
Correct.
So what do you feel that students need to do to get out and jump into this field?
Well, don't wait for graduation. I mean, of course, you want to try to get as many internships, externships, right now, today. Finding a great mentor is something that really, truly matters in this business. The TV and film business is so cutthroat now, and it's very competitive, and the industry is always changing. So even though we don't want to change, sometimes we have to. It's very important to have all of your social media current, updated, make sure that you're on it. I don't want to go and check your Twitter account and see that you haven't been on there since February. That just shows me that you're out of touch, you're inactive. And there's so many different ways that you can do that now with all the different various programs that are out there, from Hootsuite. You can automatically program your quotes or, what new things you have going on with yourself, and keeping your resume updated and building on your resume is one thing. So making sure that you can shadow some really good people in this business, as long as you're getting the work. You don't have to go and shadow P. Diddy.
Right.
Now you had an opportunity to shadow somebody who is just amazing, in the industry, in entertainment and news, but not everybody gets the opportunity. So my thing is that you create all of your moments. When I started off in the business, which was so many years ago, I created everything. I didn't wait to actually, meet this person or that person, but today I'm working with them because they saw all of my creative work, so it's something to do.
Now, how big is networking and connecting?
Great question. Networking is everything, you know, and you can network through social media as well. You don't stay away from the negativity and the bombarding of social media, but if you want to reach out to somebody, you can do it. You can do it through social media, attend different events, you know, become a part or a member of different organizations that are affiliated with what you really like, you know, your craft to kind of mold around. So networking goes a long way. I mean, just don't go partying, students, you know, to the club or, you know, anything like that. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't, you know, actually do well with being in these places. But when you go out, make sure that you're being effective. Make sure that you're getting those things that you need. The worst thing that I used to hate is going out and I felt like it was a waste of time. You know, so think about the people that you're around. Surround yourself with great people that you can always be around, all your peers. You know, stay away from those things that just don't make sense.
Now, we were talking a little bit after the break about us being the entitled generation and how we feel like everything is going to be given to us and put into our hands. How do you feel about that?
I've discovered it, you know, with teaching in the classroom, and it's sad now how nobody really wants to work for anything. Everybody wants to get paid on the spot. Everybody wants to have, you know, the CEO title. And even if you want to have the CEO title of your own company, you still have to build your company. You have to build your team. You know, I realized in this business that I rather have a name for myself. I rather for people to connect with Ty Johnston because that's who I am. You know, I enjoy affiliating myself with different companies. So like today, we're here at Clark. I could shout out Clark all day long. You know, I mean, it doesn't have to be, you know, your name of the company. Now, I think that sometimes students, they want to graduate and they want to have a company name and they want to create a logo and all this kind of stuff. And that's great. But it's about providing the service. What service am I going to get when I contact you, John Doe? What service am I going to get when I contact John Doe Incorporated? It's about the service and about the value.
Right. So let's talk about you. Now you're the founder. How did you get there? What did you do to get to where you are today?
You know, it's been blood, sweat, and tears, you know, and it's almost like that still today because, again, with the market being so oversaturated, you have to do something to set yourself apart. And I just knew to keep a great attitude. You know, every day is a great day. No matter what comes your way, I mean, it's like it's television, you know, we always have a solution. You know, it's film, we always have a solution. Like, you know, if the XLR cable isn't acting right, we can fix it. We go get another one. You know, so you have to look at this industry like that and you growing into the industry, staying relevant, staying current, completely. How did I get there? God. You know, a lot of prayer, and whomever you believe in and whatever you believe in, you push forth with that, and you want to just be able to make sure that you're meeting your mark. You know, I'm the type of person that I set goals for myself, and they're like baby goals. And what I mean by that is an infant is from 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9 when we purchase their clothing. So for me, what works for me, I want to see results within 3 months. So it's like every 3 months, I should be somewhere else. If I'm in the same position every 3 months and that 3 months has turned into 2 years, there's something wrong. If I'm setting these goals and I'm not meeting the mark. So surrounding yourself around those that actually do the work is what really matters. And not being a bugaboo, but letting them know that you're passionate about what you're doing and you really want to be a part of, you know, what makes this industry great. If
you could give one advice to a student right now, what would that one thing be?
Graduate. Get a degree, stay in school, don't leave school, so that way, you know, you can do something else, and then you always kind of revert back to maybe what a professor told you or an experience that you had on campus, but just really dive into finishing school. If you started it, finish it, you know, and that's what really matters. It doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't work for everybody, and it doesn't apply to everybody. So everybody's story is different, but, you know, it's just like if you're writing a script, if you started it, you know, you want to finish it. I had a young lady that asked me the other day, she says, well, I have like 5 different titles and it's 5 different folders. And I said, well, what's in those folders on your hard drive? She said, nothing. Then you're not doing anything. You're just creating wishful thinking, you know, and you're not filling it up with anything. So let it have some true value.
And your experience is, I'm sure, over the top. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's been a fun journey. You know, I started out being extremely young and, you know, doing Toys R Us commercials when I was 9 years old. So that was really cool, and I was getting paid $50 an hour back then. And I was like, ooh, that's cool. You know, $50 an hour today is still a lot. So, and then fast forward to being an adult, you know, it's just being at the right places at the right time with the right people and knowing what you wanted for yourself. You know, I knew that I wanted to be, you know, still affiliated in the entertainment business, but I didn't know how, when, or knew what then. You know, back then it was, again, me being a Toys R Us kid and in front of the camera, but I said to myself, that's not what I really want. You know, I want to do something different. And so when I actually auditioned for a film, just so happened I had no idea that I was going to end up reversing, doing a 180 and being the assistant to the producer to Lionsgate Film.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I went out for an audition and just so happened I answered every single question that the director, production coordinator, and the producer was asking. And they said, well, what are you doing on that side of the line? I was like, well, what do you mean? I'm here for the 10 o'clock audition. But they were like, you answered every last one of our questions like correctly. Like, we need you over here. You're very resourceful. Not knowing that I had a skill set for being resourceful. Somebody else had to kind of share that with me for me to understand. So don't you know, for students, I don't want students to not know their worth, not know their talents. You might be great in one area, but you're trying to perfect something else. But that one area that you're great in, you might not even have a clue. So it was kind of like that with me. I had no idea like being resourceful was going to get me being the founder of the Atlanta Pitch Summit. And that's exactly what I did. I just put all my resources together, make an affiliate for a weekend, and you know, I had somebody to say, this is your ministry. Can you believe it, how many people you're helping? I'm like, okay, I'm just waiting for the weekend to be over with. You know, I mean, because it's so much going on the weekend and you want to make sure everything is seamless, and it's once a year. So it's building towards one weekend once a year, you know, is a lot. But, you know, working in television and film throughout the year is just a joy.
And I was going to say, as students, a lot of students want to be in front of the camera. And just like you said, you didn't know that, you know, you're going to be behind the camera and all that. And I feel that students need to know that, you know, it's more than just being in front of the camera.
Absolutely. And you know what they could consider this as is that because I still had that acting bug, I just started putting myself in my own films.
Really?
That's what I did. So back in 2004, when I completed, you know, my first sitcom that aired with the Black Family Channel, and I said, well, hey, I don't mind being, you know, a supportive character in this sitcom, and that's exactly what happened. So the next film that I actually produced, I just stuck myself in there, you know, all over again. So it was cool. And a film that I'm approaching next month of shooting, which is written and directed by Miss Lisa Haynes. And it's a great feature. And we got some great industry, you know, class people in there. And it's called What Love Will Make You Do. And I'm actually producing that. And she already asked me, she says, well, Ty, do you want to play a role? And I'm like, that would be fun. You know, so it never goes away. So just knowing your strengths, knowing your options, you know, don't feel defeated, and just, you got to keep a great attitude.
Right, you definitely have to. So do you have like any Twitter, Facebook, you know, information for the Atlanta Pitch Summit?
Absolutely. You guys definitely want to go to twitter.com, and that's /ATL Pitch Summit, and also to ATL Pitch Summit for Facebook.
Any lasting words you have for us today?
You guys stay encouraged, stay lovable, stay likable, keep a great attitude, and know that your future is right now.
Well, thank you, Ms. Johnston. We want to thank you for coming today and speaking about the Atlanta Pitch Summit and encouraging me and other students to know, what to do after they graduate, how to build their own brand. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us on Potpourri. I'm Shatondra Caldwell.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover. Up to 40%.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest
Spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little